How's it going, everybody? Nerds Rising here, and welcome back to the Nerd Cave. In today's video, I have some absolutely incredible spicy battles for you guys in the Element Remix Cup featuring the new Paldean starter trio. Now, this is definitely not a team I would recommend for anyone at all. There are definitely better water types, better grass types, and better fire types, but why not use them all in the same team together? They just came out. Let's give them a shot. And at the time of recording this, actually, it is actually Wednesday night right now as I'm recording these. Nobody has actually covered any Element Remix Cup whatsoever. Now, when I actually post this video, it'll probably be over the weekend, I'm guessing. And at that point, the Great League will have ended. I'm sure somebody out there will cover this. I mean, Junkus and Homeslice are both banging out like 2 videos a day, so I'm sure somebody's going to cover this. But on the off chance that they don't, wow, this team is so bad, guys. It is so glassy. And you guys are going to enjoy these battles. I know not everybody loves the Element Remix Cup, but just sit back, buckle up, grab a snack. These are going to be some fast-paced, wild battles. And honestly, guys, despite the team really not being that good, I had some truly improbable wins with it. So first battle here, we have Quaxly, the new water-type starter into Wooper. And as you're about to see, these Pokemon are so glassy. I mean, most of the time they're glassy anyway in the 500 CP Cup, but these things are just even glassier than normal. That body slam does well over half. We were going to get outpaced, so what I decided to do there is I go for basically a shield advantage. I throw the liquidation on CMP, and I bring in my now Sprigatito to farm down. They actually bring in a Dupiter, just totally fine by me. I make it to the grass knot, and as you see, this thing hits so hard that does well over half of the Dupiter stuff, and Dupiter is very bulky. We take the Bubble Beam, and now we are giving our Fuecoco a 2-to-1 shield advantage. And what I found, guys, honestly, is that Fuecoco up a shield, or basically even with even shields with a slight energy advantage, can do very well. So what I tended to do most of the time is, in situations like you just saw where the Quaxly was going to have a difficult time maintaining switch advantage, I just take the shield advantage and then give a shield advantage to the Fuecoco. And as you're about to see, Fuecoco is going to sweep this game. And what you see that I did there is, I recognized it was going to take them 10 turns to get to their body slam, and it was going to take me 10 turns to get to the crunch, but I expected the opponent to throw right away. And they did throw right away, and by throwing right away, I was able to get a full Incinerate through in for free, and that allows me to outpace that Vulpix to 2 crunches, and I take the game there. So if they wouldn't have thrown right away, I would have had to try to make a catch onto my Sprigatito there, but by throwing on bad timing there, I win the game, and we have a Surskit here on the lead in the next battle. Very spicy, and this thing is just really spammy, guys. The Quaxly with the Wing Attack and Aerial Ace is just super spammy. They have a Barboach in the back, and this is totally fine. We're going to go straight for the liquidation here, just in case they no-shield. That gets the shield, and at this point, we're just going to stay in here, farm up, make them take us out, and then we're going to bring in the Sprigatito. We have switch advantage here. They go for the resisted Aqua Tail. Those leafages do so much damage. This could be an Ice Beam, so I will shield it up. And at this point, I was hoping that they would have something in back weak to the Fuecoco, which they do. They've got a Dupiter, and even though it's part water type, the Bug Bites are not going to be doing a lot of damage here, and we can easily let one Bubble Beam go, farm up to the back-to-back moves, and we're going to take this thing out. And honestly, I think if I had to choose, I would say the Fuecoco is probably the best on the team. It isn't rated the highest. The Quaxly is actually rated the highest, which Quaxly also did pretty well, but Fuecoco is a little bit bulkier than the Quaxly, and that Incinerate is just so nice in this league. We get to the moves so fast. The Incinerates do a ton of damage, and really the only downside is Incinerate is just a very slow move to use. Oh my gosh, I actually have to show you this, guys. I actually have to back up. I know I'm backing up already, but I actually did something really dumb here. I actually totally forgot that the Barboach was still alive. So here I'm thinking, I've got, I'll crunch into Flamethrower just to be on the opponent a little bit, and then I'm going to win the game. And what I forgot is the Barboach was actually still alive, and as you see, I don't tap my screen right away. I let them get 2 mud shots in before I even tap my screen, and then by the time I realize it, it's too late. They farm me down, and they Ice Beam my Sprigatito, and I actually lose that battle. It's funny, I was just mentioning in a previous video a few weeks ago, there was an opponent, I think it was the Master League Staraptor video, there was an opponent that just stopped tapping and basically let the person I was shoutcasting just farm them all the way down, and it happens to everyone, guys. I was saying it at the time, but it does happen to everyone. I totally completely forgot there was a Pokemon still alive, and I ended up losing because of it. But anyway, into the next battle. I truly wasn't even paying attention. I don't even know what we have on the lead here, but we've got Vulpix in a Fuecoco right now, and Vulpix is honestly one of the toughest things for this team to see. Even our Quaxly doesn't really want to see it because Vulpix does outpace the Quaxly, and if you let one Body Slam go, Vulpix can actually fully Quick Attack farm down the Quaxly after that Body Slam lands. So really rough. The opponent has a Frillish in the back. Will they let this crunch go? Please no shield it. And they do. And unfortunately, I'm expecting that there's probably something in back at this point that's going to beat our Sprigatito here. Because what I was seeing is a lot of fire types with a grass and a water in back. And there you go. It's a Bulbasaur, excuse me, in the back. We farm up to CMP, but unfortunately, Play Rough does a massive amount of damage, but it's not going to be enough. Sludge Bomb's going to be KOing us here, and we're going to take another L. And that time, it was not because I stopped tapping. It's just because the opponent basically just hard countered my line. But unfortunately, we lose that game. Next battle, we have a Slugma. Really, again, honestly, look at how much damage we're taking from those rock throws. We're actually taking more damage from the rock throws than they are from the wing attacks. And I think they might even have... I think, honestly, they could have just stayed in there. They might even have been able to farm us down before I made another aerial ace. But they switched out into a Vulpix, doing us a big favor. We get their final shield with the liquidation. At this point, our Fuecoco is looking to be in a good position to sweep here. Now, what I'm recognizing here is I could throw the crunch right away after this body slam. But what I realize is if I do that, then that Slugma is just going to come back in and farm me all the way down. So what I need to do actually is shield twice here, make sure I have a crunch loaded before this Vulpix goes down. So then if they bring back in the Slugma, I'll have the energy loaded and I'll be able to take it out right away. And that's exactly what happens. They bring it in, I can crunch right away, and I'm expecting there's probably going to be a water type. They showed me 2 fire types in the back, and unfortunately it is a grass type, but since Body Slam's not that good of a move, it's non-step. It's a good move, but it's non-step. It's not going to be one-shotting. We actually will just barely outpace, and Play Rough will be one-shotting the very bulky Chikorita, and we take that game there. So, yeah, if I would have just taken out the Vulpix immediately, then the Slugma probably just rock throws down the rest of my team. So we take that win. We have a Litwick in the next battle. I did actually see quite a few Litwicks out there with the new... What's the move called? Mystical Fire now. It has Mystical Fire. And for some reason, I undercharged that. I'm not really sure why. No really reason to do that because it wouldn't be KOing anyway, but they are staying in here. So this tells me they probably are going to be weakened back. Either they have a second fire type, or more likely they have something like a Dewpider or a grass type in the back. So we're just going to stay in. And in this situation, I definitely want to make sure I maintain switch advantage. And no, what am I talking about? No, apparently I don't. Apparently I'm just happy to give Fuecoco a shield advantage. And again, I did say that earlier. Sometimes I fought for switch, but other times I just took the shield advantage and gave it to Fuecoco. They come in with a Dewpider, and I pivot immediately into the Sprigatito just to reset that debuff since I was debuffed. And the annoying thing here is Bubble Beam doesn't do that much, but we're just so glassy. Somehow they actually take us out. I'm clicking my move there. I'm pretty sure I should have gotten the move off, guys, but for whatever reason, I don't. But at this point, they're staying in. What is going to be in the back? And it's an Oddish. It's probably a Shadow Oddish. I saw quite a few of those as well. But Flamethrower one-shots it, and another Fuecoco sweep. We still had a shield as well. So, yeah. I just threw these battles together super quick. I didn't really look at them super closely to see which ones they were. So I'm honestly not even sure which battles I included in here. But, yeah, I played these a little bit differently each time. But in general... it's a good idea to try to get switch advantage if you can, but the issue is when the Pokemon are so glassy, oftentimes even if you have switch advantage, if you're down a shield or down energy, you still can get one-shotted by so many different types of Pokemon. Like, for example, Body Slam, like, let's say you're a water type into a Vulpix and you have switch advantage, your water type's into the Vulpix, but the Vulpix has a shield advantage. The Body Slam spam with the quick attack is just no joke, and honestly, it's just really rough going down a shield in this cup. So anyway, we have a Dewpider again here. We have a shield advantage. Fuecoco goes down. Probably going to be bringing back in our Quaxly here. Yeah, we bring back in the Quaxly. We have the aerial ace loaded. Will this be enough to KO? It is non-stab. Just barely not. They do make a move, but this should just be a Bubble Beam. No, it is the Mirror Coat. I shield it, and there I think I recognize, based on the team comp, there's probably a fire type in the back, and that's a situation where reading the team, I know I wasn't commentating on that battle super thoroughly, but reading the team there, most of you guys probably would have considered letting that go down, the Quaxly go down since it was low, saving the shield for the Sprigatito, but if I'd have done that, Shadow Vulpix just sweeps me there. Next battle, we have a Pumpkaboo on the lead. Very cool pick by the opponent. We switch into the Fuecoco. They stay in. We fully incinerate, farm them down without even throwing a move. Not sure why they stayed in. They must have been super weak to this thing. And sure enough, we see why they didn't switch out, because they have Dewpider in back. We're at 100 energy. We go Crunch, and now we're going Flamethrower here. Flamethrower won't one-shot, but it will put them into a range where we will farm them down if they don't throw energy. So they're forced to throw energy, and I think I will let this go down. We'll probably come back in with the Quaxly, farm them all the way down, and what are they going to have in the back? They're still switch locked in here, and no, they're not switch locked in here. Nerds Rising has literally zero idea what he's talking about, guys. Please, ignore the commentary and just enjoy the battles. We barely cannot make the move. I realized it at the last second, and here, I think my only win con is going to probably be to Leafage farm this thing all the way down. It's going to be very close. They do boost their attack with the Flame Charge, but we farm them down on like 2 HP. We have the Grass Knot loaded, and that is a Grass type farming down a boosted Fire type for the win there. Crazy win. Sprigatito is definitely the glassiest Pokemon on this team, and it's honestly the worst one on the team as well, just because it has Leafage, which by no means is a terrible move, but in this cup, you really just want to have a spammier fast move like Vine Whip, and then it has no cheap charge move. Grass Knot is its only, like, its cheapest charge move that it can know, and it does. I think it has Energy Ball as its other move that I'm not showing right now, but it's just really underwhelming, honestly. There are definitely better grass types out there, but anyway, as you guys saw, we had a Froakie lead there. We do maintain switch advantage in that one, and they have a Numel in the back. We bring in the Fuecoco here, and Numel is staying in, which is totally fine by us. They're on Ember. We will outpace them to moves here. We'll get to 2 crunches before they make it to another move. We're going to take this thing out, and we saw a Water type on the lead, so they probably have an answer to our Sprigatito in the back. So I'm guessing, yeah, it's going to be a Grass type. And Fuecoco, oh my gosh, guys, 2 Incinerates gets that Fomantis into nearly like 2/3 or 1/3 of its health range. And now Crunch is going to be killing here, and we take it out. So crazy how much damage these moves do to these glassy 500 CP Pokemon. But anyway, next battle here, another Litwick lead. We've already seen this one, and they bring in a Dupiter. They do not want to see our Quaxly whatsoever, so we're going to throw the Aerial Ace here. We'll probably be bringing in the Fuecoco at some point, but no, they actually let that go. So since they let that go, I think I just decided to stay in here, and what they're probably going to be doing is bringing in their third, and I'm recognizing that they're also going to be switch locked in when they bring in their third, so likely I'll be switching out right away, and yes, they bring in a Wooper, but they're still switch locked, so I can easily here bring in my Sprigatito, farm them all the way down, and they're still not going to be able to switch out of here. And I think at this point, I'll just shield up, knowing that this next Leafage here will KO, and I can Grass Knot the Litwick. And Grass Knot, even though it's resisted, is going to be doing so much damage. We don't even get the shield. I was going to say, I cannot speak, guys. What I was going to say is, even if they would have shielded it there, that would have been totally fine. We could have just come in with our Fuecoco and double crunched it, or come in with our either one, or Quaxly or a Fuecoco, but they let it go, and we just fast move them down. So, yeah, I'm in shambles here in my commentary, guys. These battles are going so incredibly fast. I cannot keep up. But anyway, we won the last battle. We have a Bellsprout lead here in the next battle. And unfortunately here, they're probably going to be able to farm me all the way down after I get this Aerial Ace off. But I think they do end up throwing energy, which is great, honestly. They could have definitely committed to the farm down, but this is totally fine. We will take our shield advantage. They give up switch. They bring in a Water Gun Wooper, and our Sprigatito just is going to feast here. And their Bellsprout is fairly low, to the point where even though these Leafages would be double resisted, yeah, I was going to say they probably would get farmed down. They bring in a Vulpix, and guys, check this out. Resisted Grass Knot just does so much. They actually shielded, unfortunately, but the Grass Knot honestly does over half of Vulpix's health, but this is actually better for us that they shielded that, because now Fuecoco can easily sweep this game. I believe this Crunch will just barely not KO, but then we can just Incinerate them down. They actually switch out. Look at that Incinerate. Holy crap. Bellsprout just gets melted, and now we're just going to Flamethrower the Vulpix, BM it a little bit for some fun. We take it out, and wow, these battles are going by so fast. We're already into like the last 3 or 4 battles, guys, and we have another Litwick lead, and I think hopefully this isn't a repeat battle. I did see quite a few of these things again, like I said earlier. And again, we have one that's staying in, so I throw on CMP. This is going to be the Mystical Fire here. And Aerial Ace will more than likely grab a shield, because since they're running Mystical Fire, most of the time they're going to be shielding at least the first move, usually the first 2 moves. So probably you'll see me bait again. We'll have to see. Sometimes I just go straight for the Liquidation, just in case they no-shield it. I want to make sure I get the KO here. So yeah, I do actually let that go, recognizing that they do shield it. Excuse me, guys. I literally cannot speak, but I recognize there I would get to another Liquidation before they farm me all the way down, and they did commit to the farm down. We have switch advantage, and that means we can align our Fuecoco to the Shadow Oddish and our Sprigatito to their Wooper. This cup is just so RPS. I actually do enjoy the little cup overall, guys. It just brings you a little bit of fresh matchups that you normally wouldn't see. I mean, whenever are you going to see these 3 Pokemon in action? Like, clearly, I'm sure at some point, some Mad Lad will level 50 one of these things and Best Buddy it for the Open Great League, but honestly, there's just not many situations where you're ever going to see these things in action, so it's honestly just a nice change of pace. In this battle, we had a really bad lead, and we bring in the Sprigatito, which is really not the best play. Sprigatito just doesn't have a great safe switch matchup. Like, for example, it doesn't have any coverage moves, so the Litwick easily can just no-shield everything there. They still have switch advantage, and at this point, I think it was a Razor Leafer. So our only chance here is if we can get the shield from the Oddish, and then they're double weak to this and back. But with a Grass type on the lead, you would expect them to have a good answer to a Fire type in the back. But let's see, they are staying in. They do make a move, but they didn't switch out here. So maybe, just maybe, they will be weak in the back. And it's double Grass. They have an Execute or whatever the heck this thing's called in the back. And they're going to get double crunched here. We barely live the confusion damage. And they're going to take double crunch to the face. So again, what I basically found with this team is if I didn't just have alignment where I RPS the opponent, typically giving the Fuecoco a shield advantage ended up paying off pretty nicely in the end game. So Dupiter in the next battle, they say switch into a Shadow Oddish, and oh my gosh, Fuecoco just 3 incinerates, fully farms them down, and we have so much energy. Dupiter is not going to be appreciating these moves. They shield the first, no debuff unfortunately, but now we can go for the Flamethrower, and if they don't shield this, we will be able to incinerate them down, so they're going to be forced to throw energy. And actually, no, they just barely farm us down. We needed one more incinerate, but this is totally fine. Even if this is a Mirko, we easily will just shield it up. Either way, Bubblebee, Mirko, we don't care. We farm them down. What is their last Pokemon? And it's a Vulpix, and this should be a GG. We have a big enough energy lead that even though the Vulpix does outpace us to the liquidations, we should just be able to shield up and double liquidation them. We are debuffed, but it does not matter. Actually, are we debuffed? No, I think they did full send the Mirror Code actually on the Dupiter. So either way, liquidation will be one-shotting. We one-shot the Shadow Vulpix, and I believe we have 2 battles left, guys. I hope you're enjoying these. They are flying by. Again, I know the Element Cup's not everybody's favorite, but I truly actually did have quite a bit of fun running this team. We see a Clauncher in the next battle. They're on a 3-turn move, so we throw after 7 for proper timing. And we do actually just land the Aerial Ace, so I aggressively pivot into the Sprigatito here, basically just recognizing that if they have a Water-type lead, you know they have a good answer to Grass. So I bring it in there just to farm it down, deny the Clauncher's energy, and just get some utility out of it. And as you see there, we do massive resisted damage with that Grass Knot. Unfortunately, we do not get the move off, but it does not matter. They are core broken by our Fuecoco here, and we're going to just beat them down with fast moves now, guys. We're going to shield this up, and Incinerates are just going to fully melt through this poor little candle, and that is going to be a G to the G. And we might have 2 battles left. The time, it says there's only 2 minutes left, but again, these Pokemon are just so glassy, and these battles go so quickly that oftentimes these battles are like 40 seconds long. So next battle, we have an Execute on the lead here, and I think we do just barely make double Aerial Ace there if they go for the full farm down, and we just barely do. And either we're going to get Switch and a shield advantage, or both shields. We take a 2-0 shield advantage, and we sneak through the Incinerate as they throw. So even if they have back-to-back moves, they're not going to get to use them. They bring in a Grass type, another Grass type to our Fuecoco. Oh my gosh, we're going to fully farm them down, but dude doesn't even make another move, and I didn't even see what it was. But at this point, Double Crunch basically just KOs everything in the game, and it's actually a Shadow Oddish, so we could have just Flamethrowered them, but either way, they were running triple Grass, and Fuecoco just absolutely feasted. And guys, I gotta stop. We gotta pay attention to this one. Because if you guys, I went back way too far. If you guys are playing the Element Cup, you'll know that while the Great League is out, again, I did record these while the Great League were out. The Great League is on top and the Element's on bottom. So when you're clicking the leagues, it's really easy to accidentally go into the Great League. And I did this, guys, 3 different times in one day of battles. I did this 3 times where I go into the battle, I'm like, wait, Wigglytuff's not allowed in this cup, and then if you look at the CP, it is 1492 CP. I accidentally entered the Great League, and the Wigglytuff charms us down with a total of like 10 charms. It charms out our entire team, and yeah, I literally did that 3 times, guys. I just instantly clicked on Great League, didn't realize it, and lost quite a few. But either way, guys, I hope you enjoyed the battles. They were a lot of fun. They were fast, but again, if you're looking to climb in this cup, please do not use this team. But I think if you're going to build any of these, Fuecoco honestly was probably the best one. I still think probably Vulpix is a better Fire-type starter. You could consider the Quaxly as well. Not that it's as good as Fuecoco, but it does have some nice moves. Those flying-type moves on a pure Water-type make it kind of have similar coverage to Ducklet, but it doesn't have that sub-flying typing, so it just has a little bit different matchup. So yeah, either way, definitely don't use those Sprigatito, but Anyway, guys, that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're enjoying my content, make sure you leave a like and a comment and subscribe if you have not, because the more subscribers we can get, the more Pokemon my wife will let me play.